Hello everybody, Stephen here with Cardboard Coalition. And today I figured I'd bring you a quick video about not necessarily buyer's remorse, but thinking a little bit more before you buy. So what we have here is maybe the only three. I'll add one more thing at the end of the video, which might cover a couple games I haven't put down here. But this is really thinking through before you buy and really paying attention. And I mean really paying attention. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So when you start into the hobby, you might be buying just a game here, a game there. But once you start realizing the mechanics that you might like, or the genres you might like, they're similar, or themes you might like, you might start wanting to collect up certain things, or finding a favorite game. Then you want to start collecting up certain things. There are games that you think are going to be a favorite game of yours, or listening to the hype and the new hotness and things like that, thinking I want to collect things up. Part of this might be not being a collector, which I've talked about in other videos. I try to fight a lot. I come from a long history of trying to collect things up myself. Like I've said before, I'm a comic book fan, and it's hard for me. If I don't have the whole run, it's hard for me to read. Though I do read some amazing Spider-Man and some Batman and detective comics, some things that I had to jump in at, issue 200 and something, 300 and something, 400 and something, right? Things like that. But that's usually very rare. If I can't get the whole run, if it's 10 issues in and I can't get all 10 or get all 10 at a good price, I tend not to just read it. And I know it's not the best way to look at it. So feeling like you need to collect things up could be one of the problems. But what this video is really about, getting us back on track, because Stephen can talk, is really thinking about things before you buy them, really thinking about them, right? This is beyond, or paying attention, let's put it that way, because this is beyond the, do I like the game mechanics? Have I played it? Do I like the theme? Have I seen some reviews? Have I dug in to look at prices? Where if you're a price person, some people don't care. They got the big dollars and they just spend them how they want, right? But some people are a little more money savvy about it, and they really look for those deals. But beyond that, beyond doing that research, is really paying attention to the product that you are buying. Now, since this is a board game channel, we're talking about board game things. So I have 3 examples here, and we'll walk through them, and we'll go from my right over here over to my left. And actually, I realized that I put them in chronological order. So here we go. First thing I would say is make sure you really like the game. So let's go ahead and shift some things around since we're going to be talking about this one. Make sure you really like the game. Don't get caught up in all the hype and then think you need everything, right? And there's multiple things for myself. I was told early on, and this was before all the lockdowns, that, check out the base game, and if you like it, you could always get all the expansions and stuff like that. I was told that by a local game shop, and I still think it's a great game shop, and they were talking about a card game. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll slowly buy it up. And they had a whole bunch of things on sale, but I was like, I don't know, let me buy the base game, see how it goes, and then buy a little bit at a time. And it ended up going horribly, at least for my collector sense. So with a little bit of that fear in me, the Funkoverse is a game that a lot of people like. It's a skirmish game, and it has pops. So if you're into pops, there you go. I thought this might be a good substitution, because I did kind of get into pops. They're really easy. They're kind of cute. They're fun. They make them in all different styles, and they're like a cheap statue, a $10 statue, and it got out of control after a couple years. When you have a wall of pops, like I've been buying too many, so I thought skirmish game, and they're pops, and everybody's saying this is the greatest game in the world, and oh my god, it's so much fun. And I'm not saying it's not fun. It is fun, but I don't think it's necessarily my game, right? But I saw this, and it was on sale too for half price, probably like 40% off, and I grabbed it, right? I saw the main game was half off, the DC version. It's Batman. You've probably seen it before in some of the stacks that I put up. So it's Batman. So I thought, oh man, this works. This is half price. As soon as I bought the main game, before I read the rules, before I sat down and played, I ran across this at half price and I said, oh, I gotta have it. Well, if you've watched my other videos, this is one of the games that I don't know if it's exactly for me. Maybe I haven't found someone to play it with that makes it more for me, or what have you. But the main game is in my Shelf of Shame stuff, things I haven't played, that SOS, right? That Shelf of Shame, things I haven't played yet. I've played through by myself, but haven't played with other people, and that's what I mean by played through. But I went ahead and bought this. I don't know if I should have, right? I was quick at it. I didn't make sure I liked the game. I was just trying to, hey, this is a great deal. I don't want to miss out on this deal. And everybody says it's the greatest, so I got it. Not paying enough attention. Now, I did the research. I looked at how the game played, and I thought maybe I'd like it, but there's something with physically playing it that I'm kind of iffy about. I'm not really sure what that is, but there's that. Now, next. So, Dead Men Tell No Tales, right? The game comes with wooden meeples, and these are miniatures. The game itself is really hard to come across, and there's an expansion for it. It's really hard to come across. But this I found, and it was at, I think, price or maybe a couple dollars more, and they're running out of them. That's the other thing. And the other thing is, Dead Men Tell No Tales is getting picked up by Renegade Games and republished, and it should be out in the next month or so. And I'm going to pick it up, right? And so I thought, I ran across these and I'm like, oh, it's the miniatures. So instead of the little wooden meeples, I'll just get the miniatures before they sell out, before they're hard to find, before they're 10 times their going price, which, people like to do. And maybe I'll do a whole video about the collecting hobby and trying to buy and sell things later on, and some of just my frustrations with it. Same with comic books or anything else, just my frustrations with it. But so I was like, I'm going to grab the minis because that'll be really cool. I know it's going to be a different, well, I think it's Minion Games is still the people who make it, but it's going to be produced by Renegade Games, kind of like Raiders of the North Sea and Architects of the West Kingdom, where they're Garfield Games, but it's produced by Renegade Game Studios. I always have a problem getting those together. But anyways, Renegade Game Studios is coming up with this. I thought, you know what, I'm going to grab this before they're hard to find. And then when everybody else gets the new copy and they're having fun, and I'd looked into the game and it looks really fun and it looks like something I'm really going to enjoy. I still think it's something I'm really going to enjoy. But the thing is, I looked into that reprint that's coming out, and guess what it comes with? All the miniatures. It comes with all these guys already. So now I have 2 sets. I am wondering if they're going to look a little different, and maybe I'll keep them, maybe I won't. More likely than not, it's probably wise just to sell this off, trade it off to someone who has the Minion Games version of it and wants these miniatures. It's probably the best, smartest thing to do. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it. But I literally bought this because I knew a new printing of the game was going to come out, and I didn't pay close enough attention. And then I bought this. So I wasn't thinking through my decisions very well. So there's that one. And then last but not least, and I don't know if you guys can tell, it's still in shrink wrap. New NIS, new and shrink, right? That's what you see with games when you're trying to buy them. But like I said, I've been slowly trying to collect up Zombicide, Black Plague, and Green Horde stuff. When it came out, I wasn't into Kickstarter yet. I'd been introduced to board games. I had this itch and this feeling that Zombicide would be the one that I picked up, especially when I found out I had a Black Plague version of it. I didn't know it was Kickstarter, and it kind of ruined me because I saw these extra things you can get. So I've been running around trying to collect up this stuff. And it's got some cool guys. This guy looks really cool. This guy down here is riding another bigger beast guy. I thought just looked cool. Gives you a new Necromancer, which kind of gives some flavor to how you play the game. The only problem is, and I don't know if you guys can tell, it's in Spanish. Es Español? I don't know. My Spanish isn't all that great, but it's in Spanish. So I picked this up on Amazon, right? And it was a couple dollars more than the cost of this when it was in Green Horde in the Kickstarter. So I'll do that a lot. I'll check the cost that it originally was on Kickstarter and what people are asking, and then I have to decide, am I willing to pay a little bit more? Unfortunately, for the Zombicide, Black Plague, and Green Horror, because I just want it so bad, I'm willing to pay a little bit more, but not a ridiculous amount. But the thing I did not notice is it's in Spanish. I mean, it says special guest up here, right? And Paul Boner 2 at Spanish Spain, used the Arabic 2 just like the rest of Europe, so that wasn't a giveaway. But it does have Spanish down here across the bottom. Initially, I thought maybe they sent me the wrong one, and then I glanced back at what I bought, and though everything is in English, everything on Amazon's little page for it, it's all in English, no Spanish, all in English. No warning that it's in Spanish, but the fact that if you look really closely, there's Spanish right there, and it's Spanish down here. They showed some pictures of the hero cards and the necromancer card, and no, just the hero cards, and it was in Spanish, but some of these, and I think it's the Black Plague ones, not the ones that came with Green Horde, came with a bunch of different languages. I think like German, French, Spanish, and maybe Italian. There might be another one in there, and English. So I initially saw those cards and thought, oh, okay, they're just taking pictures of the Spanish ones. You know, it'd be nice if they showed the English ones so I could see what these guys do. But I was really buying it because I wanted some more heroes and another necromancer to spice things up. So now I don't know what to do with what I have here, right? To me, yeah, there's miniatures. I paid, a few dollars more than what it would have cost during the Kickstarter, so I'm okay for the cost of it. Or with the cost of it, I can't really play it right now. I can do a whole bunch of extra, translate everything, and have it all spread out in front of me to play the game. It's going to be hard to play that with other people, too. If they want to pick one of these characters, that's one of the other reasons I like getting these, is so when people come play Zombicide, they have lots of characters they can choose from. Maybe it's overwhelming, but they have lots of characters they can choose from. Now, I have gotten in touch with Guillotine. Is it Guillotine Studios? It's on the back here. Guillotine Games, which is the people who make Zombicide, and Come On is the publisher of Zombicide. And I've sent them an email asking if they happen to have the PDFs of the Necromancer cards and the Hero cards, and then I can go out and try to do some Staples, any of those office stores, wherever you're at, kind of magic, and print them up, hopefully have them look close, because the Necromancer card has to get into the deck of zombies, so he pops out and he's a surprise. In the English version, so I can still keep this, but print those out and have those cards. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do. So overall, I'm out $70 maybe. Yeah, I think maybe $70 for these three things. This being the biggest on sale. The other ones were close to the regular price, a little bit less, and then a little bit more, so it kind of evened out on that. But what it was me not paying close enough attention. So you could take this as a warning or not. You can be watching this and thinking, well, you can get rid of these to the right person, get rid of these to the right person. This, maybe get rid of to the right person, give it away to someone. I did the how to conquer the shelf clutter, how to get rid of these kind of things is kind of in the same vein. Or I can look at it as I spent all this money to bring you guys a video to hopefully get more people interested in hanging out with us and talking about games, who knows, or just to entertain you, who knows. But it's because I wasn't paying close enough attention. So it's just a fair warning video, I guess. Pay close attention to what you're buying, right? It sounds like a no-brainer, but with these game things, especially with trying to collect up things that you missed out on, you can get caught up in the excitement of actually finding it. With this one, I've looked into the English version used. It goes for more than double what I paid for this. So does it make this worth it? I still don't know. If I can't put the Necromancer cards in the deck and use the Necromancer how I want, I know there's ways around it. Is it still worth it? If I can't get the hero cards printed up and have them look at least halfway decent, they don't have to look exactly where the Necromancer cards at least would have to look really close. The backs would have to look really close to the back of the zombie cards. Is it worth it? I don't know. So that's the video, hopefully it's helpful or entertaining for you guys to watch me blunder, listen to my blunders or the mistakes, and maybe avoid them. Or, like I said, if you guys have any ideas of what to do with this, that would be helpful, or what to do with any of them really, or any times that you guys have ran into this, the buying too soon or not fully thinking it through, things like that. Go ahead and leave a comment. Yes, cheap way to try to get comments. But other than that, I'm Steven with Cardboard Coalition. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you later, everybody. Bye.